one-on-one data, and I'm going to give you an overview on how to use one-on-one data to generate leads for non-profits, charities, churches, anyone that typically runs an organization that depends on donations, community outreach, other organizations in the neighborhood. Could be online as well, but let's say in the local neighborhood, to work with a charity. Um, I actually work with a non-profit school myself, so I'm going to use that as the example. So first, I've logged into one-on-one data. I've got my dashboard here. I've been doing a lot of work on other things, but what I'm going to do now is start my first searches. And let's just get into it. I can start here and saying like, hey, look, I want to look for the charity that I run is a school. We often do auctions and events in which we have things that can be raffled and so on. So what's always worked for us is to look for coffee shops, for example. Let's say coffee shops in the neighborhoods, and we're in La Jolla in San Diego. So I could search for these, and I can adjust my radius to be like not too far, because typically what I'm going to ask for is donations. For example, Starbucks, right, will give packets that we can go pick up and then auction at the school. It's a very specific example, but it's a very real one because I've done it. So it can't be too far. Actually, in my history, I have a couple of searches like this available, so I'm going to reuse one of these, and this way I can go faster. And this is the result that you get when you do a certain search. You're going to get about 60. You see here I have 3 pages of 30 each good results. That's because the pool we do uses public APIs, Google, Maps, Places, and so on. So for the free version of one-on-one data, you're going to be looking at information that's publicly available. We just put it together and make it 10 times easier than having to do it yourself. So what you got is here all the places in the neighborhood that match the description. We get the phone number, we get the email if we can find it, the address, tags I'm going to skip for now, the website, so I can open the website. I can have the Google links if you want. If they have social media, we can bring up the Instagram and so on. So we have a lot of social information that's really good to investigate kind of like the target, right? Are they someone who could typically work with us? From a couple of posts you can learn a lot. The reviews, is this a business that's doing well? Are they liked? What do people say? We typically bring up only 5 reviews, but that's the last 5, but that tells you enough. The average rating, and that's it. And so in the free version, that's what you get. And what I can now do is like export all of these and import them into my email campaign. I'm going to do a recording and a tutorial on that later. But there's more, right? You could also simply reach out yourself. So I'm going to pause here and then go to the premium version of one-on-one data, because it adds 2 things that are important. First of all, you notice that not all email addresses are retrieved. So in the free version, you're going to see a button that says upgrade. That's because, well, if it's not publicly available, we are going to use several APIs to enrich. And that's, of course, a cost for us, so that's what we have to charge for. And you'll see, either it asks you to upgrade, or if you have upgraded, or if you're in the premium version, then you will see this retrieve email. And retrieve email will, for that record, allow you to pull the right record. This can pull 1 email, it can pull several. Sometimes it can't find any results. Some people just don't want to be found, then so be it. I can guarantee you that if we can't find it, there might not be an email address, or they simply really don't want it. And typically they're also the organizations that don't have a website or don't have social, maybe they like to be called. You can still reach out to them or visit them, of course, or fax them, I don't know, whatever they like. But for a lot of them, the majority, you will be able to find the email address. I would say that in the free version we have about 20 to 30% that we can find online. In the paid version, that should be 90%. And for those 90%, we find one or more, often many more. Now, there's something else. Um, you notice that we're focusing very much on reaching out with context. We're not going to blast people. We push you to retrieve one email. We don't say, like, hey, scan everything. And that's because A, we want to keep the cost down for you, but B, our mentality is also that to reach out, you should really research your target and then only reach out with a very well written message. And that's where the second part of the premium version comes in. Because what I'm going to do here is let's take a good one here. Let's say here James Coffee, and we've got David here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do some research. Imagine if I've done that, and I'm going to click this button. And this button allows me to automatically generate a really good cold outreach email for my campaign. Now, I need to take a step back here because I first have to check if my campaign is set up. So I'm going to go to my campaign management, and I've got a lot here. That's a lot from testing. But you see here, 28 donation requests. I'm going to open this one. This is my default campaign, and it's for to do donations. I send it as myself, my email. I'm going to say, hey, this is my email, my signature, and then the outreach reason. The more information you put in outreach reason and in extra info, the better. So the reason for outreach is asking for donations to help the school. We are a charity and depends on donations from businesses in our local community to auction off. And then maybe I'll add something, I'm just going to talk about it, but we can add that this is a great way for these businesses to get exposed to a lot of people in the local community, right? Sometimes we do events with thousands of people. This is a great way for their name to be known. Maybe they have other ideas. And then I can add extra info, the phone number of the school, 555, call. Phone number of the school, or the charity number of the school is, that adds a lot of credibility, and so on and so on and so on. Information on how you want the email to be generated, and so on. I'm going to submit this. I'm going back to my leads, my search history, my coffee shops, and David here, this record. I'm gonna start an email campaign for. So I'm just simply gonna click this button, and I'm going to wait for the LLM to do its thing. So this is OpenAI. It's another API we use. We trained the model. So especially if you give it good inputs in your campaign, you're going to get good results. All the same, feel free to export the mails and do your own thing, right? You can do that as well. I just built this, rebuilt this to have really good ease of use, and to have people like you that research things and then always want to send off the same email, ideally with a little bit of tweaking. You see here, representative, it works really, really well. We don't send the email automatically. We always encourage you to review really, really well, and then to send out the email. And after that, you will always have the results available in your search history, and you can keep doing this over and over again. There's no limit on the amounts of leads you pull for yourself. So this you can keep doing in different locations. And the only thing that's limited is the amount of records you enrich. That's why it's in the paid version. There's no limit on the amount of emails you generate as well. If you have success, you like it, you have feedback, please always give us a nudge back. You can email us, you can join our community, or just use our widgets here to give feedback. We would absolutely love to hear from you.